Hello guys. Welcome back. A young boy, living with his parents, is so concerned about global issues that he makes an armor suit by saving his pocket money. He then goes out killing people to lessen the population. Will he be caught by the authorities? Stay tuned to find the answer. A 23-year-old boy named Bill Williamson is a resident of Tenderville, Oregon. He lives with his parents. We see that he is continually absorbing news about the economic crisis, earth pollution, and war. Listening to all this news, he works out and becomes engulfed in anger. To channel his anger, he regularly resorts to using a punching bag and throwing darts at illustrations of the human body. Contrary to his private expressions of frustration, when interacting with his parents, Bill projects calm behavior and exhibits emotional attachment to them. Mr. and Mrs. Williamson are sensible individuals and form a loving couple who deeply care for their child. They also desire his independence and success in life. In the morning, when they are ready to go to work, Mrs. Williamson calls Bill for breakfast. At the breakfast table, Bill spills the milk, appearing troublesome and confused. His father, Mr. Williamson, goes to fetch some napkins to clean the table. His parents encourage him to prepare for moving into his own place as he is 23 now. In response, Bill sneers at them but then calmly states that he is saving money for his post-education, and it takes time. So, he is still unable to move to his own place. Despite their offer of financial support, Bill declines and appears content with his current situation. As the argument escalates, Mrs. Williamson decides to diffuse the tension by organizing a family gathering later that afternoon at a pizza shop. After that, parents leave for work. Following this, Bill heads to his car and drives to a coffee shop. He orders a double espresso macchiato with extra foam. However, upon receiving the order, he believes it's not what he asked for and demands more foam. The coffee guy gives him more foam, but he is still not content with the result, so he asks for a refund. The coffee guy sniggers and insists it's good coffee from the best coffee guy in the city, and he is not going to give his money back. This makes Bill angry, so he gives a glare to that coffee guy. In the subsequent scene, Bill is shown repairing a van, indicating his role as a part-time mechanic in a garage. His boss suddenly appears and advises him not to waste time on the van. He instructs him to work on another car immediately. Bill temporarily sets aside the van after placing a bag in it. Soon after, Bill meets his only friend Evan in a parking lot. Evan is a leftist philosopher who challenges social norms and addresses overpopulation issues. Evan hands 2 boxes to Bill, mentioning that his father has expressed skepticism about the packages. Bill says that no one is allowed to know about the things inside the boxes before the time comes. Following this, they proceed to the chicken den to have a meal. Evan tries to flirt with the counterwoman, but his attempts do not succeed. Moments later, as she attempts to place their orders on the table, she accidentally spills their meals on them. Evan becomes upset by the incident and demands a refund, but she declines, offering to redo their orders instead. In the meantime, Bill attempts to calm his friend. This sparks a serious discussion about the world's problems. Evan expresses the belief that with the rapid increase in the world's population, those who contribute to environmental destruction are unnecessary. He highlights the adverse effects of overpopulation on Earth, such as air pollution and the ozone hole. Evan insists that the world needs a change but struggles to provide concrete answers to Bill's questions. What kind of change? Who will implement it? And what will individuals, including Evan himself, do? In response, Bill accuses Evan of being all talk and no action. Upon returning home, Bill apologizes to his parents for his delay in the family meetup, which is going to be held to discuss Bill's relocation. He requests to move the conversation to the next morning, hinting at some exciting news. His parents agree and express curiosity about the upcoming news. In his room, Bill is seen assembling a Kevlar armor from parts he had sent to Evan's house over time in those closed boxes. He has been saving his pocket money and the money from his part-time job for a long time to get these parts for an armor. While he is working on the armor, Evan's video goes online in which he repeats his concerns about overpopulation and the need for change. Once again, Evan emphasizes the need for change and the necessity of someone who takes action in the world. Bill reacts with a snigger, seemingly familiar with Evan's repetitive speeches throughout their relationship. Shortly after, Bill prints a substantial amount of fake money and begins his workout again. The next morning at the breakfast table, Bill informs his parents that he has taken the day off to be extra active. He shares that he is going to fill out college applications for a mechanical engineering major, expressing a desire to have purpose in his life. Apologizing for the previous disagreements, he reassures them of his commitment to this new direction. Mr. and Mrs. Williamson are pleased with his decision, and now they say that they are proud of him. Then they leave for work after praising Bill. However, as soon as they depart, Bill initiates his real plan. He enters his room, unveiling a weaponry kit containing pistols, submachine guns, machetes, and a wireless detonator. He proceeds to load up the guns and wears a suit he crafted himself, an iron-made, bulletproof armor with a ballistic helmet and a paintball mask, giving him the appearance of a SWAT team member. As Bill strikes odd poses in front of the mirror wearing his armor, a video plays where he discusses the survival of the fittest theory. He applies this theory to humans, expressing frustration with individuals who prioritize themselves over others. Concerned about resource scarcity, he calmly suggests a solution, which is eliminating those who consume resources without contributing to society. He moves around in his room, adjusting the armor for comfort and building his confidence to do something big. Afterward, he swaps his car for one without a license plate and heads to the center of town, where the broken van from his earlier work is located. Bill drives the van into the police department's building using a wireless device, causing a massive explosion and destruction of the station. He walks through the streets, indiscriminately opening fire on anyone he encounters. Panic ensues as people scream and flee. 2 patrolmen attempt to stop him, but their bullets cannot penetrate Bill's bulletproof armor. When they stop for a moment to reload their magazines, Bill gets the chance and shoots them dead. Undeterred by the increasing number of casualties, Bill targets food-related places, terrorizing the people there. He enters a restaurant and kills everyone there like a massacre. He enters the coffee shop where he went earlier and then orders the same coffee from that same guy. After getting his coffee, he gives 5 seconds to the coffee guy to run away. But Bill chases him outside the shop and shoots him on the road. Bill takes a break at a spa, causing panic among the ladies present there. He enjoys their fear and first gathers them at one spot. He then removes his helmet and enjoys the coffee he took from the previous shop. Then he leaves without harming anyone. However, he returns there and mercilessly slaughters them as they have seen his face now. Subsequently, Bill enters a bingo hall filled with oblivious elderly people. Feeling hungry, he asks for the best sandwich from the concession stand. Since Bill doesn't have his wallet with him, the man at the stand gives him a sandwich and an iced tea for free. Bill takes the eatables and sits at a table to enjoy the meal, but he doesn't like the sandwich. So, he stands up and continues to stroll in the shop, observing the people there. Bill decides to let the elderly bingo players live, anticipating their natural demise. He then enters a bank, swiftly taking control like a professional. However, his violent spree escalates when an employee tries to stop him. Bill reacts with brutality, cutting the employee's throat and demanding the bank manager to open the safe. He also opens fire on other employees who try to give resistance towards his actions. The bank manager, after futile attempts to open the safe, finally opens it and gives all the money to Bill. Outside the bank, he stages a spectacle by setting fire to the fake money. He wants to show everyone that money is not the thing for which he is doing all this but the global issues which are real concern. In the following scene, heading to his next target, Bill receives a call from his mother. While falsely asserting that he hasn't left the house, he shows ignorance about the atrocities he's causing. Despite a slip of the tongue, his mother remains oblivious and anxiously urges him to stay indoors. He hurriedly goes to the chicken den and promptly shoots the girl who argued with Evan. Following this, Evan calls, scolding Bill for being late. Bill requests Evan to wait until his arrival, as they had arranged to play paintball in the woods outside town. While on his way to the woods, he learns from his radio receiver that a police unit led by Sheriff Melvoy is returning to town. In response, he heads to the town's welcome sign, plants a substantial bomb behind it, and anticipates the arrival of the police unit. Growing impatient, Evan calls Bill again, expressing his intention to leave. Bill, however, stubbornly urges Evan to stay, claiming that he's close. In an attempt to persuade him, Bill adds some trash talk and cryptically states, "I'm gonna kill you, man." Meanwhile, Sheriff Melvoy and his team approach the town's entrance in 2 cruisers. Upon reaching the welcome sign, Bill triggers the bomb, resulting in the destruction of 1 cruiser. Despite the blast, the sheriff and 2 deputies survive and pursue Bill into the woods. Bill, stepping out of the car, warns them against further pursuit. Despite the warning, they open fire. In response, Bill detonates his car, instantly killing 2 deputies, before fleeing into the woods. Sheriff Melvoy is left with no choice but to pursue the psychopath on his own, without the assistance of his fallen colleagues. The pursuit continues through the forest until the sheriff can see nothing but trees. He starts searching for a sign to follow but is unexpectedly attacked from behind. Bill brutally stabs him, leaving him bleeding to death. Following that, he rushes to Evan, who is surprised to see his appearance and the amount of money he carries. Bill uses a stun gun to take Evan down and immobilize him. Then, he places a pistol in Evan's hand and relentlessly shoots him in the head. By dressing him in his armor suit, Bill stages a fake suicide, giving Fingers a target to point at. After cleaning up the simulated suicide scene, he burns everything that could cause trouble and returns home. As he lies on a couch watching the news, his concerned parents show up and check on him. Bill breaks into a shocked face and informs them that his friend Evan has committed all of these crimes. At this, his parents are frightened and consider Evan a psychopath. In his bedroom, we can see Bill packing his belongings and the money into a suitcase as he is leaving his parents' home forever. At the same time, the TV is showing that Evan's father, who is strongly against the government, is being arrested. Bill, delighted that his perfect plan worked out well, suddenly notices Evan's father yelling his name and insisting that Bill did all of this. When he hears this, he immediately grabs his suitcase and leaves his room. 2 years after these incidents, he posts a video online and explains what he did. While he repeats his worries about a lack of resources and the overpopulation of the earth, he claims that he wants to present his own solution to these problems so that others may be able to sustain a little bit more of life. And that's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care, and see you next time.